Hello and welcome to the 43rd episode of the Red Sox Unfiltered podcast. I'm your host, Patrick Green, joined, as always, by my lovely co-host, Dave Latham. Dave, say hi.
How's it going, everyone? We are closing in on, what is it, 2 weeks till actual baseball?
Yeah, two weeks. 2 weeks, that sounds about right. And then
March 28th, right?
And it's the 12th, yeah. So that's like 2 weeks and some change.
Yeah, it's the Falcons blew a 28-3 lead day, the best day to celebrate anything.
Yeah. for you Patriots fans out there, which I assume if you're listening to this...
It should be a national holiday, okay? That goes beyond Patriots fandom.
Does it?
It was a 25-point lead.
I think we like Nick Foles better.
Oh, fuck you.
Just kidding. And also joined with us today is our lovely producer and co-host, Chris Drosehn. Chris, say hi.
Hey. So actually, you guys are wrong on what day there's actual baseball.
March 20th and March 21st, but no one cares. I mean,
you know who's going to be awake at 5:30 in the morning watching those?
Mariners. I mean, that matters. I mean, it's cool that they're going international. I mean, No, I won't.
I'm not doing that.
This guy will be awake at 5:30.
Definitively, look, that is cool. I'm glad baseball's getting more global, but it's definitely interesting that they're starting a week removed from any other baseball action, and then they're just going to stop. But I mean, I get it. Yeah, it's probably going to be major jet lag. They're going to have to adjust.
They're actually playing legit games.
Yeah.
Starting Sunday after the 20th. So whatever that is. The 23rd. They're playing legit games the 23rd, I think. Unless it's spring training.
I thought it was the 21st. I don't know. It's they're playing legit games. It's
the Red Sox start on the 28th.
Yes.
And what? It's in Japan, right?
No. The Red Sox.
I'm talking about the Mariners A's.
Yeah, the Mariners A's is in Japan.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Red Sox play the Mariners opening day, though. So they'll be
on the West Coast.
West Coast. Isn't that the worst? How?
Yeah.
You guys?
We haven't talked about that
yet.
At
7, but
we haven't talked about
They should abolish the West Coast to begin with. And now we have to play baseball there to start the season. It's just the worst.
Do we have an East Coast bias on this podcast?
It sounds like
100%.
Yeah. Okay, I can subscribe to that. But, I mean, it's going to suck because, the first game's 7 o'clock, so it's fine. But I think, the next 2 or 3 are going to be, 10 o'clock to 1, and that's a little past my bedtime. That's borderline right there. And if we go to extra innings, forget about it. I'm snoozing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the first game's 7, right? But then it's 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and it's dude, come on.
Then we play the A's after that, I believe, so it's not going to get... And then we have our home opener.
It's the first... Isn't it the first 11 games that they're on the...
Something like that.
Yeah,
I think they do it all at once. So there's going to be the Mariners start off, the A's. I think we have the Angels while we're over there too.
I can fact check this real quick because I feel like the third series we play, it's going to be not regular time, but East Coast, more conducive to the East Coast. So the Red Sox play the Mariners, and then they play the A's, and then they play the D-backs. But all the D-back games are 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 4 o'clock. So
I can live with that.
Oh, I can totally live with that. And then the April 9th is the first home game, and it's against the Toronto Blue Jays. And it's a 2-game series. Ooh. Yeah, and that'll be the commemorative World Series ring ceremony on the 11th. So a lot of fun stuff to looking forward to. Can't wait.
Is this another... I haven't even looked at the schedule. Is this a backloaded home schedule again like it was last year? I don't think
I have no idea.
It looks more... just scrolling through it real quick, looks more...
What do you mean backloaded? You mean...
more home games.
Last year there was more home... Yeah, there was more home games in the second half.
I see what you're saying. Was that the case?
July 16th. Mookie Betts' Time to Party bobblehead with sound.
Ooh.
I know where I'm going to be on July 16th.
Where are you going to be on July 16th?
Fenway.
At Fenway Park?
Getting a bobblehead.
We should have our Red Sox Unfiltered meeting there. We can all go to that.
Good idea.
Wouldn't that be fun? All right, let's start here though. Let's get into actual Red Sox topics. So there's a lot to talk about. We haven't had a podcast in 2 weeks. My goodness. Sorry, or not 2 weeks. It's been a week and a half, but it's been a while. Whatever.
Not much has happened.
I mean, there has been some stuff to talk about. There have been some roster moves, Steven Wright. But to start, we had a game today. David Price made his spring training debut today, guys. Don't know if you caught that. They played the Tigers. David Price actually took the loss. Who cares about wins and losses, especially in spring training? But he went 3 innings, gave up 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks, and a home run. That's notable. He seems happy to be out there based on quotes, but I don't think really you guys have anything to expand on about David Price's debut, do you?
Not particularly. He threw the ball, and he was able to get off the mound happy and healthy afterwards, and that's all that matters.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think he said something like he was upset about the whole ball that he threw.
So he walked someone.
Yeah, he walked somebody for his last batter of the year or whatever, so he was mad about it.
So then he said it was good to get back out there.
Yep.
That's the quote I saw. Didn't remember it verbatim. Thanks for helping me out there, Chris. I owe you one.
As a thing, the Red Sox, since we're talking about spring training, the Red Sox are last in the Grapefruit League. So that's exciting.
They just don't have it this year.
They don't.
Dave, you tweeted that. You got so much flack.
Yeah.
I was going to talk to you
listeners
about that.
here, you got how many? I'm very disappointed in a lot of you guys for not immediately picking up that was sarcasm.
I don't understand how you can't pick up that that's sarcasm.
Like, there were literally 8 hate comments in 2 minutes to take.
And there was quote tweets saying don't be this type of fan. And it's like, guys,
they're like,
guys.
I remember this in August. One guy was like, "You're the most unintelligent person I've ever met in my life," or something like that.
And then I quote tweeted and I'm like, guys, this is sarcasm, and some people just didn't see that and they were responding to the tweet, and then I just copy the tweet and they're like, oh.
So according to if you just go by Grapefruit League standings right now, the Yankees are winning the division. Baltimore's coming in second. Toronto's third. Tampa Bay is fourth, and the Red Sox are going to go best to last.
Wow, very very reflective of how the regular season.
Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
Could you imagine that, winning the World Series and finishing in last place the next year?
No,
we did that in 2014.
Yeah, that's not unheard of.
It's happened. We've done it.
There's no way the Red Sox are going to finish behind the Orioles. I mean, the Red Sox are going to finish. They're going to at least be a wild card team. I can't imagine a scenario when they're not.
Yeah, Calamity would need to strike for us to be not a wild card team, and I think we'd need to start the lull spinners for 162 games to be worse than the Baltimore Orioles. Even that might not do it.
Yeah, that might not be enough.
Yeah. Anthony Flores alone could probably power us past the Baltimore Orioles.
That's your guy. That's one of your top prospects, man.
Yeah.
He's exciting.
We'll get to top prospects later, but...
Yeah, so let's get happened. And while this has kind of been a while, Steven Wright has been suspended for 80 games for performance-enhancing drugs. He appealed it. He lost. But he's gone for 80 games. As we know, he was suspended for a domestic violence incident last year, or the MLB investigated and they gave him 15 or 10 game suspension. So this is 2 suspensions now. What do you guys think of this?
I mean, how many times is Steven Wright going to not be there? The Sox say he's still in the plans, he's still on the roster, and when he comes back in June, it sounds like we're going to use him, but, I mean, how long can you just count, have him around? I'm surprised we didn't just part ways with him, because he's probably not worth the headache at this point.
Would you have cut him last year after the domestic violence dispute?
From a moral standpoint, yes.
Yeah, I would have too. I don't know why.
I would have from a baseball standpoint.
Yeah, I mean he's. I would have just done it from a moralistic standpoint.
From two areas, it doesn't make sense to keep him around, both from off the field and from on the field. He hasn't been on the field since 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
So you're just wasting a 40-man roster spot, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he gets shuffled in and out based on the DL and whatnot, but it just doesn't make any sense to be wasting a spot that could be going to someone else.
Yeah. And with the DL, unless he's on the 60, it's only a spot on the 25 game day roster that's opening. The 40, that's still a problem. We almost lost Josh Akimi this year because Steven Wright was taking up a spot on the 40.
And the thing is, Wright didn't have to tell the team, and he didn't tell the team until a week ago?
A week before, yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean,
the way the way he was he wasn't even apologetic. He was just yeah, I don't know how that happened.
I'm sorry I got caught.
yeah. It's I don't know how that happened. It's no, you know how that happened, dude. You can't. They give you a list, and they all have I'm sure, ample resources to make sure that they're not putting these kinds of things into their body. I could understand if it's some like weird little thing that happens, because I'm sure that happens where you get something that it's not too common or whatever, and you just forget about it or didn't notice it. But something like what he was busted for, I feel like you would know about it.
It just doesn't make sense to keep him. He probably, Red Sox and him would probably be better off parting ways. He can't, like, even with his health issues, I mean, he's not going to be a huge contributor. Like, it just doesn't make sense. He should have been gone last year anyway. So, Steven Wright, it's been you've existed, I guess.
Yeah, it's been. Yeah.
It's been something.
What did he get busted for? Growth hormone releasing peptide 2.
I take that for an
or not a Happy Meal, no free ads.
Yes.
But
yes.
No free ads. Steven Wright is out for the Red Sox for the foreseeable future. But guess who's in? Guess who's back, baby? Dustin Pedroia, number 15. He's made his spring training debut, I want to say, last Thursday, which is, Tuesday? You'll probably hear this on Thursday, so probably a week ago. So yeah, Dustin Pedroia's come back, and he got a single. He has 2 hits so far this spring training. So are you guys happy to have Dustin Pedroia back?
Very much. I mean, you gotta really cross your fingers, because he's at the point where every time he does anything, you kind of have to worry about his body just spontaneously combusting. But I'm happy to see him playing. I'm happy to see that he can still make contact, even if it is just at the spring training level. Hopefully he can give us something at second base, because if he gives us literally anything, it's better than what we had last year.
Yeah, it's awesome to see him back out there. The Red Sox have, especially I feel like, been interesting in watching him run the bases, and he's given them some opportunities to do that, and he's looked okay, which is good. And they're obviously being cautious right now, and they're limiting him, and they've got 2 more weeks to kind of fill this out. So it's a good start for Pedroia. What about you, Chris?
Anything Dustin Pedroia gives you at this point is better than nothing, especially considering what they've been trotting out at second base. That's my thoughts on it. I have no expectations for Dustin Pedroia this year. If he was gone for the year, it wouldn't surprise me. But I hope he's there, because when he's there and he's healthy, he's probably a pretty good contributor. So I will take that.
Yeah, that is a good point. I mean, Dustin Pedroia, I don't think a lot of people are going to be expecting that much from him this year. So anything he can give the Red Sox, if he can squeak out like a 2-win season, I think everyone would be absolutely thrilled with that. Like a 90 WRC plus. I mean, maybe that's a little even high, but yeah, it's good to see Pedroia back at second. Good thing Red Sox kind of have some decent options in Holt and Nunez behind him. And yeah, there were some other moves made today for the Red Sox spring training. Actually, we got some cuts happening, and this is Tuesday. Biggest one, and we'll talk about this one first. Red Sox top prospect Michael Chavis has been sent down to the AAA camp. Meanwhile, Bobby Dalbec, other Red Sox top prospect, and Darwinzon Hernandez survived the cuts. Now, I would presume they would be sent down to AA camp. I don't know really the difference. Or, I mean, obviously one is...
It might just be one general minor league camp.
Really? I saw it said AAA camp.
I don't know.
Because, Denny Reyes was optioned AA Portland. I don't know how this works. I don't know. Because Josh Taylor, Travis Linkins, and Chandler Shepard were optioned to Pawtucket, and Denny Reyes was optioned to Portland. So there's a clear discrepancy. I don't really know how that spring training divisions work, especially when you demote someone. But yeah, that's the thing. Bottom line, Chavis is no longer on the team, but Hernandez and Dalbec will have some more chances to perform in the spring camp for the Red Sox. What do you think of these moves, Dave?
So let's start with Chavis going to AA and Dalbec staying up, or excuse me, AAA. I've got a whole hour-long rant on Hernandez, so we'll save that for later before I cut the rest of you guys off. But I wouldn't read into it as anything too crazy. Chavis has been hitting the tar out of the ball, but his quickest way to the majors is at first or second base, which right now he doesn't have the most experience with. If you're going to teach a guy how to field, the best way to do that's to put him at a lower level camp where he's not seeing as much advanced pitching and his focus can solely be on the glove. Whereas Dalbec, you're still worried about making him into the best player he can be, as ready as he can. So put him in the majors, let him face off against the pitching and see how he does against guys who have a smarter approach than what he'd be facing in the minor leagues. So, I mean, I think that's really all there is to it. Dalbec didn't suddenly jump Chavis in the prospect list. So, you know, it's just it's what you do as you get near the end of spring training.
Yeah, totally agree. And Cora said, obviously, that like they want to see Dalbec. Defensively, they were impressed. And as you said, Chavis is going to have to work defensively down in the minors. Chris, what about you? What were your thoughts on this?
I wasn't really... it's kind of surprising that a guy with seemingly no role in Dalbec not being sent down. The only thing I can think of is, his bat is the polish, not the we need you to play other positions competently like Michael Chavis is right now. So that's the only thing that I can think of. Other than that, the cuts make sense. Carson Smith being cut was kind of... I haven't even looked at what Carson Smith's numbers are, but I saw him being sent down, and it's kind of like, oh, all right, that happened. But yeah. As a side thing to this, I Googled your question about the minor league camps, and there's like a whole article about, from 2016, what happened at I think it's the White Sox Spring Training. Not really sure. But there's actually this part where they say that they stay... These are the people that aren't fighting for 40-man roster spots. So I'm guessing that when you get sent down, you go to this place. It's the two paragraphs are like, once all the players get there for the day, they get divided into 4 groups and discuss the day's workouts. The groups generally correspond to different levels within the organization: AAA, AA, high A, low A. And they're put in groups that are just above their highest play. So it sounds like they just kind of get all together. Like the whole minor league crew gets together. That's what it sounds like.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that information, Chris. I don't know if a lot of people are aware of that. I certainly wasn't.
I don't even know if that's true. I could be wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, you did a good job paraphrasing. It sounded sophisticated. It sounded realistic.
Oh, wait, I should probably credit that person, shouldn't I?
Yeah, give us a name, an article, source.
The person's name was Allison Duffy Davis.
Okay.
And it was on a website called Sports on Earth.
Oh. I think I may have heard of them, maybe. I don't know. .com?
Yeah, .com.
.com. Yeah, as you mentioned, I think Carson Smith was a little surprising, but Josh Taylor to me, I don't know if you guys were following his spring, and he was looking pretty good. I mean, he's 26-year-old lefty. I get that he probably didn't have a spot right away to carve out with the Red Sox bullpen, but he looked pretty good in certain samples, and I think maybe they could have had a longer look at him. I'm not complaining too much. I haven't been paying extremely close attention, but from the numbers and from what I have watched, he looked pretty good in a limited sample, and his minor league numbers look pretty interesting too. So I thought he would stay around longer. No?
Not a big fan of Josh Taylor myself. He was terrible in the Arizona Fall League a few months ago. He took one of the 40 spots when he didn't necessarily need to. When everyone thought it was going to be Akimi, he got the last one instead, him and Reyes. So the Red Sox clearly do like the guy, but I definitely think he needs more time in Double-A. Maybe a little bit of time in Double-A and then go on up to Triple-A. I don't think he's major league ready, and even if he is, he's like a fringe arm. He's basically Robbie Scott all over again. So,
yeah, does he have his pronounced platoons? Because I mean, like his numbers at Double-A last year were pretty good. He had a 3.79 ERA, struck out 9.34 per 9, and 3.55 FIP. And he had a nice minor league career with the Diamondbacks. I mean, his numbers look pretty good, but I don't know. I thought he would stay around longer. I doesn't say anything about his splits here, but I could certainly see him being a lefty guy. I'll have to do more in-depth research on that. But yeah, that there were some interesting cuts for the Red Sox. Rusney Castillo, unfortunately, for those who thought maybe there was a chance, will not be making the major league camp.
I'm sad.
R.I.P. Rusney.
Do you think he's ever going to get there?
No.
No.
That salary.
No.
He is stuck in purgatory.
Yeah, that because of the way the salary cap is luxury tax is calculated. They have to keep him down. Yeah. Yeah, he was outrighted when you could outright it and it wouldn't count against the luxury tax. But now, if he came up and was put on the 40-man, it counts. And if you outright him out the 40-man, it still counts.
So
yeah, he is done.
He's stuck in purgatory.
Pretty much. Like he probably should. Like he probably should be playing on like the Royals.
He'd be a decent fourth outfielder on an 80-win team.
Yeah,
he could be a bench player right now.
Yeah, he just gets paid too much.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, he's not as good as Bryce
all the way to the bank.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Any more thoughts on these cuts today?
Not unless we get into Darwinzon Hernandez. If you let me go down that rabbit hole.
All right. Yes. I'm gonna go make myself a sandwich.
Me too.
Grab a drink, and Dave, you have
I'm gonna make some popcorn. I'll be back in 5 minutes, Dave.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be like just be getting started in about 5 minutes.
I'm gonna put on some TV. Go for it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. The Darwinzon Hernandez is a starter train is off to a pretty strong start this spring. He's pitched, I believe, 8 innings now. He allowed a run today for the first time all year, which, not great, but the fact is right now he has a 1.13 ERA. He pitched 1 inning today, walked a guy, struck 1 out, and gave up his first run. Overall, Alex Cora says that this guy's going to be great. I absolutely agree with him. The reason he's still up here is because Darwinzon Hernandez is in the future of the Boston Red Sox, the very immediate future. Cora said that he expects Hernandez to contribute to this team before September, which means at some point he's coming up. The bad news with that is that it probably means it's as a bullpen arm, because Darwinzon Hernandez, he's not going to be ready to be a starter by the time like this season, but he will be ready for the bullpen. His stuff is already there, so I think they're just kind of starting to get ready to pull the plug on the starting experience, which I really hope they don't do, but I can totally see them doing it. But the point is, the dude's fantastic. I think he's a top 100 prospect, like near the end, but I think he's a top 100 guy, and I think he's about to show it. And when you factor in, Feltman's going to be ready fairly soon, Hernandez is going to be ready. He basically is ready if you need him as a bullpen arm. You've got Matt Barnes, you've got Ryan Brazier, who in theory is still alive and didn't die from his toe injury. Like, there are decent pieces in this bullpen. There's a lot of unknowns, but if we are going full-blown on Darwinzon Hernandez is a bullpen arm, the bullpen is in decent shape, I'd say.
Yeah, Darwinzon Hernandez has looked awesome so far. He's tied for the lead in innings for people in spring training. I mean, these spring training stats, of course, but I think innings are pretty reflective of what the manager's thinking and what the team's thinking, and they feel pretty good about him. He's tied with some.
The one stat that does matter to me, like, obviously you don't want to have a 900 ERA or something, or basically do what Thornburg's doing, but the stats that matter to me in this is, like, what the walk rate really matters, because that's going to be the same whether it's spring training, whether it's majors, whatever. You're always going to want to try to throw strikes. He's been pretty good about that, which has been his biggest issue throughout his career, and that's why everyone's been saying they want to push him in the bullpen. His control's been pretty good. Not great, but it's been pretty good.
Yes. So he's got an 11-to-5 K to walk ratio. Do you know which Red Sox pitcher or Red Sox spring training pitcher has an 11 strikeout to 0 walk ratio right now? And he's tied.
Don't do this.
And he's tied with Darwinzon Hernandez. And it's not Marcus Waldman. He's tied with Hernandez in innings. Who is it? Who's
not
the mystery
Walden,
man?
Huh?
No, it's not Walden. Do you guys know who's dominating spring training under your nose?
Mike Schwarren.
Not Mike Schwarren.
Johnson.
No.
I don't know. Mitch Moreland?
It's me.
It is not Chris. It's not Mitch Moreland. It is Erasmo Ramirez.
Oh, God.
You hear the name?
Is he really?
He has 11 strikeouts and 0 walks.
I haven't seen any stats on him.
No, but he has a 6.75 ERA. That's the thing. I mean, like, that's gotta be some misfortune. But my God, 11 strikeouts to 0 walks. I mean, even for spring training, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, but 6.75 sure isn't.
Yeah, that's a problem. But Erasmo Ramirez, look, He was in the majors last year. That says a lot more than a lot of these guys fighting for the Red Sox bullpen spots. Not a lot. But he had a 2.41 ERA in AAA. AAA in 18 innings in AAA. Tell me that's not appealing.
Well, we'll see. I mean, we are still at the throwing darts phase of the bullpen, so.
Yeah, 2017, 131 innings, 4.39 ERA, 1.1 WAR. In 2015, this guy was worth 2 wins. Let's sign him now.
That was a long time ago.
That's when Dustin Pedroia was an all-star, too.
Tyler Thornburg was good then, too.
I don't want to talk about that. That makes me sad. But yeah, Erasmo Ramirez probably not going to do anything. It's kind of weird and interesting that he has 8 innings pitched. He's pitched in more games. He's tied for the most game appearances, tied for the most innings, got tied for the most strikeouts, has the best K to walk ratio. But again, 6.75 ERA. But I do, and I think everyone here wants to talk about Marcus Walden. So, if you guys are paying attention, Marcus Walden, he made the opening day roster last year. Made a few cameos. Used to be, I think it was with the Twins, right before in 2016.
That sounds 17. Right.
Yeah, don't quote me on that, guys. But look, he even when he was in the majors, it was pretty decent. He's got some decent AAA numbers, and this spring training, he is doing excellent. He has 8 innings. He's also tied with Hernandez and Ramirez for the most innings, as well as Eduardo Rodriguez. 8 strikeouts to 2 walks, very good. 1.13 ERA. This is a small sample. But, these small samples matter, especially in the bullpen when you're a guy on the margins and you're competing for a bullpen spot, and Alex Cora's got some slim pickings. Walden's on the 40-man roster, and he looks pretty good, guys. What are your guys' thoughts on Marcus Walden?
He's making the opening day roster, and it kills my soul to say that.
Is that good?
I'm just here to soak up the misery that I feel right now from Dave.
Here's the thing. He is the pitching answer to Sam Travis, because he did this last year too. He had a fantastic spring in a short sample, and he did make the opening day roster, large part due to injuries. Eddie and Pomeranz were both hurt, so we had Johnson and Velasquez in the starting rotation. Wright was suspended. But the point is he made it, and he made it into a few games, and bad things didn't happen when he was on the mound, but he gave up a lot of hard contact that just happened to go at people, and he went back to the minors and was never seen again. But with the state of the bullpen, spring training results do matter because there's just so much unknown. In theory, you have Hernandez and Feltman ready to contribute eventually, but they're not there yet. You're going to need a stopgap until those two are ready. And frankly, it looks like Walden's going to be one of those stopgaps in the bullpen. It makes me very sad to say this, but I really don't think you have a better option right now for one of the last spots.
Yeah, I agree with that. But even his AAA numbers last year, and it was kind of smallish shamble, he pitched 32 innings. They weren't good. He had a 6.61 strikeout per 9, right? Which is, but then he had 4.68 walks per 9. He almost had many walks as strikeout to the tune of a 4.96 ERA and a 4.40 FIP. I mean, the guy doesn't give up home runs, which is obviously a benefit, but when he was in the majors, he did fine. He had 8.59 K per 9, and 1.84 walk per 9, and 14 innings with a 3.60 ERA, 2.07 FIP. So if you add those together, you probably get a decent pitcher-ish in the bullpen, and that's what the Red Sox bullpen is kind of comprised of. So we'll see what happens with Walden, but he's making a good case early on. We still got 2 weeks to go. So let's talk about the catching situation. I think everyone is monitoring this. Basically, there have been reports that the Red Sox will not carry 3 catchers. And if the Red Sox want to keep Steve Pearce on the bench, Eduardo Nunez, Brock Holt, assuming Pedroia is healthy, then one of these catchers has to go. And it's between Swihart, Leon, and Vasquez. In my opinion, I think Vasquez is a lock for the starter. So in my colored glass world, it's literally between Swihart and Leon. But what are you guys thinking right now of their performances to date? Do you think anything's moved the needle so far? And what do you think's ultimately going to happen? I'll go start with you, Dave.
So I agree with you, Pat. It's definitely going to be either Swihart or Leon getting the boot. Everything the Red Sox have done this spring training implies that Vasquez, his job is safe. And I really don't think there's a right answer for the bullpen per se, force of habit, for the catcher position. because I just pick one. I'm easily picking Blake Swihart. I'm just looking at his numbers right now, and he's actually in contact with the ball. ESPN here is telling me his batting average is .375, which, of course, isn't everything, but it's better than Sandy Leon could ever do in a million years. Batted ball luck be damned. And, Swihart showed me be decent at catcher defensively. Like, not great, not Sandy good, but I think he can be a serviceable backup, and he also provides more positional versatility. Say something happened to the infield depth where you need someone to fill in really quick. He's a better athlete, and he's $1.5 million cheaper. So, I love you, Sandy. You're the best player to ever walk the earth, but you gotta go.
Chris, what about you?
Is there a reason, and this might just be reading too much into it, that Sandy Leon has played 8 games and Swihart has only played 5?
Played 6. He played today.
Oh. 6?
Sorry. 6.
Is there a reason?
But push comes to shove. You got 14
missed a few.
For Swihart and 17 for Leo. Sorry.
Swihart missed.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. But missing.
My brother will want me back.
Missing that one day, though, he could have played.
It would have closed the gap.
It would have closed the gap for me to be like, that's
it would be 7 games instead of 6.
So that's close. Never mind then. That's a pointless rabbit hole. In a world of let's prioritize defense and how the pitchers feel with a catcher, I would much rather see the Red Sox go for Blake Swihart. Just because I would much rather see an offensive catcher. He's not really going to be lighting the world on fire offensively, but probably better than Sandy Leon, I'm guessing. I would just like to see the Red Sox do something a little different with the catching position, considering everybody's going for the defense and how the pitchers feel with the catcher. When I think that only goes so far, and that's why I think Sandy Leon should be the one to go. But part of me thinks that they're going to try to find a way to get rid of Swihart. And if they get rid of Swihart for either just A, releasing him, or B, nothing, I'm going to be super upset with the Red Sox and how they handled him.
Yeah. No matter what happens, I'm going to be super upset with the Red Sox and how they handled Swihart.
I'll be less upset if they get rid of Sandy Leon and keep Swihart now. I'll be less upset about it. But if they just get rid of him, if they A, outright release him, or designate for him for assignment or whatever it is at this point, or B, trade him for a bag of baseballs, I'm going to be like, what are we doing here,
That's a good point. Let me give the fans an update on how these catchers are doing. Spring training, small sample caveat, doesn't really matter, but again, these guys are fighting for their lives. Red Sox probably have carved out which one they want to keep, but in 14 at-bats, Blake Swihart has a .829 OPS with a .357 average. Leon, 235 average with a .793 OPS. Basically, they've hit about the same in terms of OPS, so nothing is really separated either two. Meanwhile, Christian Vasquez has just been awful, but 24 at-bats. He's at .375 OPS. So, if you're going off spring training numbers, Christian Vasquez, it's not looking hot, but obviously Red Sox are smarter than that. And it looks like you guys know how I feel about Blake Swihart, so I'm not going to go in there. I'm not going to go too far into it. I think if you can part with either of these guys, they're pretty lateral. Their defense, offense maybe cancels each other out. Swihart a little more potential, Leon a little more safety at the defensive side, and calling games the intangibles. So to me, it's a wash. I don't really care who goes. I'm just interested to see if they actually, put it into practice and don't have to see them outright releasing Sandy Leon. I feel like Blake Swihart, that would kind of be mean.
It would be kind of dumb because he's 27.
Yeah, but there's not
as far as a guide, or if you're going to outright release somebody, you use the word potential a lot, so I'm going to bring it up here. I feel like there's more potential with Blake Swihart, considering he hasn't really been giving his fair shake.
I use potential.
Maybe we should put Bryce Brent's a catcher.
Dude, how is Bryce Brent doing?
How is he doing? His OPS is over 1,000. His slugging percentage is .737.
Oh no, what have I done?
19 at-bats. He's got 2 monster piss missiles. Dude, this guy deserves a spot on the opening day roster. Don't at me.
Yeah, we'll just jettison Mookie Betts off.
They're probably about... No, I'm kidding. That is sarcasm. You can push the sarcasm button, unlike on Twitter. Yeah, Bryce Brent's great start, but it's meaningless. Bryce Brent will start in AAA, probably stay in AAA for 99% of the season. But it'd be cool if he came up a little bit and started hitting some dingers at one point if someone gets hurt, because he's capable of that. Hitting some long rockets.
You got really excited there.
Do you blame me? We haven't talked in 2 weeks.
He got super excited, Dave.
Yeah,
what
it started as a joke, and then I unleashed something I wasn't ready to contain.
Look, this Bryce Brent's love affair for myself has been pushed upon me by you guys. It doesn't even exist. So now I'm taking over this persona, and I'm going to run with it all years.
All
you created this.
All right.
Okay.
You created this. Are there any other guys who are standing out or not doing as well as expected in your eyes this early few weeks of camp?
All of them.
Dave?
Everyone's doing their best, and that's all you can ask.
They're trying their best. They're putting their cleats on every day.
I saw Dave.
I don't have his numbers. I don't have his numbers anywhere in front of me, but I think I remember. Mike Schwarren had some pretty good numbers. Don't quote me on that. So good for you, Mike Schwarren.
Schwarren was relegated back to minor league camp too. See that?
Yep.
Yeah, that's sad. He has a 4.15 ERA. That's okay. Yeah, Dave, what I was saying, I saw your recap article when the Red Sox played the Mets this weekend, and your title was "Hopefully Everybody Had Fun" or something like that.
Yeah, we lost 10-2.
Yeah, that was a good title. It gave me a chuckle, so thank you for that. Chris, explain to everyone rapid fire this time because you need to. This is for time.
I feel like I explain this every single week, and it's really easy to understand. So
probably
I'm just from now on just gonna say it's a this or that type game where you get very quick and concrete answers, and then if you want somebody to explain, you can explain, and we put a 15-second clock on you. It's been a little more conversational lately, but that's a little better. I really don't care. So as always, these guys have no idea what these questions are. I know what they are, but the fun in it is that they have no idea what's coming. It can be about baseball. It can be about Red Sox. It's probably usually not about Red Sox. We talk about Red Sox all the time. But it can be about the rest of baseball, and it can just be about everyday life as well. So without further ado, here comes the Red Sox Rapid Fire. Red Sox Unfiltered Rapid Fires. That's a mouthful segment. Sponsored by nobody because we can't be bought. So
we can.
Number one.
We can be bought. We haven't been.
Number one.
We are ready.
In honor of St. Patrick's Day. Speaking of which, were you named after St. Patrick? Patrick?
My last name's Green, man. I mean, my middle name's Flynn. I mean, how much more freaking Irish can you get? The catch is I'm only 25% Irish.
Really?
Yeah, only 25%. And my name is littered. I'm meant for St. Patrick's Day. I take it as my second birthday, honestly.
All right. So, number one. Green food and drink items or nah?
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
I'm all for it, except for when you make bagels.
Oh no, I love green bagels! Get the hell out of here! That's the only green food that came to mind. That is ridiculous, Chris. I do not respect this opinion.
All right.
But explain.
So everything else looks normal, like the beer and all that other good stuff that comes. I don't even know what comes green. These bagels just look weird, man. Dude,
they look so cool.
They just look weird. I can't handle it.
I enjoy it. I love me a green bagel on St. Patrick's Day.
You remember way back when Heinz decided they wanted to make ketchup look at all different colors?
Oh, no. Okay, that's where I draw the line. That was a sin. That's proof that humanity is inherently flawed and cannot be saved.
It's the classic Jurassic Park thing, Science, they didn't stop to think if they should.
Let me put a positive spin on this. You guys ever watch SpongeBob growing up, or is that after your time?
Son.
Okay.
Let me tell you about SpongeBob, my friend.
It reminds me of when SpongeBob had those color patties, It's
Pretty
just a bagel.
Pretty patties.
Yeah.
Not tainted meat, it's painted meat.
Pretty bagels, yeah.
Pretty patties. Hi, Kevin.
Wait, you guys watch SpongeBob?
Oh, yeah. Of course we did.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, we watched it back when it was good. You got the washed down.
Yeah, you got the lame
I did not
version.
get the washed down. I watched the OG SpongeBob.
Anything that happened after the movie just doesn't count.
The Krusty Krab pizza? It's the pizza for you and me?
I got that.
That's all I got for you.
I got all the episodes, man.
Right, not when they were new. You got them on rerun.
Yeah, you did. You got them on rerun. We got them new.
Still watched them.
So moving on. Do you like the cereal part or marshmallow part of Lucky Charms better?
I don't
marshmallow. Marshmallow. Who does anyone like cereal? Explain yourself for even thinking this was a question.
I like cereal, but I mean, I was hoping Lucky Charms.
I was hoping Pat would have been the weird one.
That's usually how these things go.
That was my thought. No, I'm in the marshmallow camp, so. So that was a dud. Alright, moving on. Will Ichiro hit a home run while in Japan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think it's that fixed?
I mean, it would be fun.
I feel like somebody's going to throw him a meatball.
For it.
I think somebody's going to throw him a meatball. And if you don't, you're a jerk.
No, they're going to throw him a meatball. Like the Derek Jeter last hit walk-off single against the Orioles, that was totally rigged, totally staged. Didn't actually count. Just kidding.
That one I think was... Yeah, the Orioles were playing for something.
No, they weren't. Were they? I thought it was game 162.
Yeah, that was the year they won the division.
Oh, but they had already clinched, and I don't think
they were fighting for seeding at that point.
I don't know. It was the last game of the season. I will have to do some proof checking. I was kidding, though. I don't actually believe that. But yeah, Ichiro is gonna launch one. I mean,
did you say Ichiro?
This was Ichiro. What did I say?
You said Ichiro.
I was in the middle of a burp, and I had to recover quickly. I'm sorry.
You kids in your iPads think the I in front of everything is always I.
I don't even have an iPad, and I've never had an iPad. Don't let me in with them.
With them. All right. So moving on. How many games until the Brewers abandoned Mike Moustakas at second base?
Wow, I missed the news on that one. I didn't know that was a thing.
He's exclusively playing second base.
That happened last year too, right? Or they talked about it.
Yeah, they talked about it. I know they did with Travis Shaw for a little bit, and that blew up in their face.
No, they made the decision. They're he's doing it.
I'm gonna give it a month.
I mean, the thing is, they still have Jonathan Scoop, right? Or no? No. Okay, so
it's actually Jonathan Scope. That's a whole other issue with me.
Wow, I just keep screwing up today with my pronunciation. But what's new? Yeah, I'll give it a couple. Let's go a month.
I'm going May 15th.
Let's go a month.
That's not a number of games; it's a date. But I'm going May 15th.
Let's put that in the bet book.
So, side note to this whole thing, Jonathan Scoop, whatever you want to call him. SCHOOP should not be scope, nor should it be scoop. It should be shoop.
I used to call him shoop, but then I realized I was wrong.
And then, so I'm listening to it, and I'm like, scope. I'm like, how do you get scope from that? I can see scoop. I can see scoop. I cannot see scope. So, moving on. Will Felix Hernandez ever find something again like CC Sabathia did?
I think he'll find, happiness and stuff, but not as a pitcher.
we wish you the best.
I'd say no.
You don't think he can figure out how to pitch?
I think Sabathia is more the outlier than the case, so...
Yeah, I'm with you.
Not everyone can be Bartolo Colon.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be, inadequate, late in the rotation guy, but he's not going to be, a top guy anymore.
He's your epitome of thrower, loses a little bit on the fastball, can no longer play. That's the epitome of who he is. So since we're in agreement, would you rather break the single season strikeout record or the home run record?
Oh, home run record. I'm all about the dingers.
Why can't I do both?
Shohei Ohtani part 2.
You going to be Shohei Ohtani over here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave's trying now.
I'm not the next Shohei Ohtani. I'm the first David Latham.
Oh.
That is true. I'd rather break the single season strikeout record.
See, I'm a I was a position player, so I like hitting dingers. I can't pitch for crap.
Well,
I have no aim.
My thing is the home runs. I guess the home runs would be pretty cool.
No, yeah, because like you could just pimp out every time you smoke one.
Yeah, that's true.
Like a strikeout's rewarding, but it's just like it's not as satisfying as watching a ball go 500 feet over the monster, consistently. So I'm gonna go home run.
All right. So moving on to the next question, and this falls in line with guys that are going to be terrible at what they do. I'm not really on this one, but will Clayton Kershaw, ever have a normal season again?
Yeah. I mean,
I should say not injury-filled season.
Just staying healthy?
Yeah, staying healthy.
Yeah, so can do that.
I mean, I don't know if he... Like, I don't want to... That's a hard question to answer. He obviously has a track record. He's not looking healthy, but I'll say yeah. Let's go, Clayton. I believe in you.
Yeah, I believe in Clayton. So we got two more here. So number 8, pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Waffles.
I'm a waffle guy.
Ooh,
damn.
All right, Pat, you're on the clock.
I don't even know how to explain it. It's just my taste buds, Like I guess like the thing is I like pancakes and waffles, but I really like syrup. So it's all about the syrup, and I feel like I can get more syrup like coalescing on top of a pancake than like in the divots of a waffle. So it's just easier for me to just eat the syrup with the pancake.
I have a second explain for you. What is coalescing?
Isn't it like when the parts make up the whole? It's like the parts coalescing to the whole. It's like they gather and collect. It's accumulation.
Sure. All right. So, moving on. Last question. IHOP, Waffle House, or Denny's?
Coalesce. Come together to form one master whole. That is the Google definition. So, yeah.
Denny's, not even close.
Say your question again. Sorry, I was in my world.
IHOP, Waffle House, or Denny's?
IHOP. Oh, wait. Nah. Waffle House.
Oh!
Waffle House or IHOP? That's tough. Denny's is the worst.
Get out.
Denny's is the absolute worst.
Leave my podcast.
Dave, you leave my podcast.
Why can't we just have the International Waffle House of Denny's? Just put them all together. They all do like.
Why can't we bring IHOP back? I miss my burgers. We can't all have what we want.
IHOP. Yeah.
What'd you choose?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Well, me professionally, I'd pick Waffle House.
What do you mean professionally?
I would pick IHOP.
What the hell does that mean, professionally? You're going in with you're taking like clients out to lunch at a Waffle House?
What?
I said you're taking clients out to Waffle House?
I should say, actually, professionally, probably Denny's. The atmosphere at Denny's is probably a little better than Waffle House.
Yeah, not the ones I've been to.
But yeah, it depends on where the Denny's is. So, like,
I think IHOP is nice.
When you're going to, if you go in the morning, it's just like a bunch of old people getting their breakfast, and it's
exactly.
Fine. But when you go, like, if you don't go to a Denny's at 11 o'clock or later, there's no point in even going to a Denny's.
I went to a Denny's once at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Man, that was weird.
That is the best time to be at a Denny's.
It was weird.
Dude, no, okay, I have so many 2 a.m. Denny's stories. I saw people get engaged at a Denny's. I saw a kid, and a Japanese body pillow at a Denny's at 2 in the morning. I had a knife pulled at me at Denny's at 2 in the morning. It was, oh my god, dude. Denny's at 2 a.m. is the best place in the world.
How did you get a knife pulled at you at 2 a.m. at a Denny's?
Okay, so it was Thanksgiving, and me and my friends from back home were going out to Denny's at 2 in the morning because we all worked like during the day, so the only time we could ever hang out was like late at night. So we were at the Denny's, and there was a group ahead of us, and there was like 6 of them or something, and they were chanting, they were like calling out for one of their friends, and like we started chanting the name too because it seemed like a great idea, and one of them just like pulls out a knife. He's like, "You guys doing what?" And we're like, "Okay, we're done here." And then he just laughed. He's like, "No, I'm just joking," and we're like, "Ha ha ha! You don't do that."
Oh, it's so funny. Thank you for that.
I've I've only had an instance of a knife being pulled on me once. And actually, that wasn't even pulled on me. I had to defuse the situation.
I've never had a knife pulled on me.
Hey, we got a question.
Oh!
At the Bob Ryan, thank you for the question. He asks, I give Devers about 2 games in the 3-hole. How about you, Pat?
So, okay. That was great facilitating, Dave. I want to. Is this a thing? Like, as the Red Sox made an announcement that they're thinking about putting Devers in the 3-hole? Did I miss this?
Yeah, you missed that. They've done it in spring training, and I know the plan is to go Benny, Mookie, somebody, JD. Coors said that out loud, and he says he wants Xander hitting after JD. So that basically leaves it between Devers and first baseman of the day. So, personally, I want to see Steve Pearce there. I want to see Rafael Devers there. Are you kidding me?
Let me qualify. I want to see Xander Bogaerts there. I think that's your safest option. You get more at bats in the 3-hole. You're surrounding with better spots. I don't get why Xander Bogaerts would have 5th behind JD Martinez. It doesn't make much sense to me.
Lengthens the lineup.
Well, if you go into like lineup construction, the 5-hole's actually more valuable than the 3. So Bogaerts is the better hitter. Yeah, that's what some nerds who did a study on it say, and I'm going to take their word for it blindly.
Yeah, if you look at like the like when they come up and stuff like that, I think the 4-hole they don't really come up all that often with runners on.
Yeah, you want your best 3 hitters to be 1, 2, 4 in like ascending order of power. You want your 4th best hitter to hit 5th. And then you want the other guy to hit 3rd, and then 6 through 9, who gives a shit?
I would prefer Steve Pearce. I would prefer Bogaerts in the 3-hole. I'd prefer to get them more at-bats. I'm not sold on Devers being a consistent offensive force yet. I think Devers obviously has potential. I'm not as smitten as you are, Dave. I think Devers is going to have a much better year, but I need to see it on a more consistent basis, so... Give me Steve Pearce, and I agree with Bob Ryan. I don't think it's gonna. If it happens, I don't foresee it lasting very long.
All right, Devers or Moreland at 3?
God, I'll go to Devers, but no, Pearce deserves to be the everyday starter.
Yeah, but he's not going to be.
Pierce deserves to be the everyday 6 guy. Devers for life at number 3.
Jackie Bradley for 3.
Okay, let's not go nuts.
Are we going down this hole?
No, the best Jackie can do is 7.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I'm not going to push you there.
Yeah, and maybe just like do without find a way to make it so that we don't have the catchers hit.
Yeah, that would be neat.
Yeah,
the catching position across the board is pretty much a pitcher hitting. So
yeah,
unless you're the Phillies and you have JT Realmuto.
Yeah, exactly.
Bunt every time, just bunt, because that way it's a lot harder for you to hit into a double play, and maybe you'll get lucky.
Did we ever get to say words about Bryce Harper?
What kind of words?
I don't really have many thoughts on it outside of he got money.
Oh, I didn't throw it back to you for the weather this time. Oh, man.
So that's going to do it for the 43rd episode of the Red Sox Unfiltered podcast. But before we go, Dave, do you have any departing thoughts for the listeners?
Just the usual one that Darwinzon Hernandez is a starter, although he's probably going to be a reliever, which curse you, Dave Dombrowski, for not building a good bullpen, but I guess we get to see him faster. So I'll take that silver lining.
Retweet. What about you, Chris?
Trade Sandy Leon. That is all. Back to you for the weather.
I think you get a little package here going. You go Bryce Brent, Sandy Leon, and then you approach the Padres, and they'll give you Fernando Tatis, or Blue Jays, Vladimir Guerrero. I think with the way Bryce Brent is swinging the bat right now, I think he's going to command a top prospect. I'm kidding.
But would you even trade Bryce Brent for that top prospect?
We're
in a win-now window.
That's another story that I don't want to get into for my own safety.
Yeah. Vlad Jr. for Bryce Brent straight up.
We should put that on the Red Sox Unfiltered Twitter page.
Yeah, I'll let you do that one.
I'm good.
I've made enough bad tweeting decisions already.
We got a whole season for some bad tweets. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, guys, thank you for listening to this episode. We're getting really close. We'll be having a special episode in the next coming weeks, either next week or the week after. We'll be doing some bold predictions. So definitely stay tuned for that. But yeah, guys, continue to watch the Red Sox. You can listen to this podcast on a variety of platforms, including SoundCloud, Spotify, Stitcher, and iTunes. But if our awesome affiliates, The Grueling Truth, post this on their many platforms, you can also hear us on iHeartRadio, among other places. So basically, listen to us anywhere and everywhere. Tell your friends. Follow us at Red Sox Unfiltered on Twitter, Facebook, Red Sox Unfiltered. And, of course, go to RedSoxUnfiltered.com. We got a lot of cool content. We're constantly doing recaps. Got some great opinion articles on there. So there's a lot of stuff to see, a lot of stuff to read, a lot of Red Sox talk. But yeah, guys, again, thank you for listening, and we'll be back next week.
We really need to just do like a blooper reel.
I'm gonna create a blooper section.
Yes, there we
do
go.
that. Okay, Chris, you're gonna have to work a little overtime to edit out this bullshit.
I'm demanding a raise here.
Well, we'll double your
$1 penny.
pay.
1 penny.
Well, I can Venmo you that right now.
Do it. 1 penny. No, I'm kidding.
All right.
Make it a little easier on the editor. Jeez.
3, 2, 1.
Damn it.
3, 2, 1.
We just
let's
count
go
down
in the
10.
blooper reel.
Let's just count from 10.
10, 9,
seriously, just
8, 10, 9, 8, 7. Hey, Chris, why don't you explain to Okay, no. Do you guys know where Atlantic City is?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, I went there for my spring break part of it for the first time. Blackjack is so fun. I lost a lot of money playing blackjack.
It moves wicked fast when you're at the tables.
They give you so much free alcohol, and
yeah.
I couldn't handle it.
If you go to the tables, it moves like super fast.
I wasn't at the tables.
It hurts my brain.
Oh, it does. They are professionals. Yeah. My gosh, I got freaking ants in my apartment. This is ridiculous. It's me and my ant friends tonight.
Let me tell you about New England.
Do you know how to get rid of ants?
All the ants are dead.
Do you know how to get rid of ants?
Yeah, live somewhere where it's too cold for them to fucking live.
I need to find like the anthill and put boiling water over it.
A torch?
Yeah. That's burned down my apartment.
That's better. That's generally better with spiders than it is ants.